Hey guys, I'm Ben,
I'm Caryan.
And I'm David.
and we just got back from seeing a sneak peek of Assassin's Creed 3.
Well, I just got back. We had chicken.
We did have chicken first, that is true, but that's not what the video's about.
It was a pretty crazy sneak peek. Like, he said that we were the first to see certain parts of that, did you not?
Yeah, we got to see the Boston streets the first. So first off, yeah, this was held at game stores across the country. Well, no, there's been kind of
This
events all day long, but this was the only one that was an after hours thing across the country.
in the
Um,
store called Game. Not
in the store,
not just
yeah,
game stores.
yeah. In the store called Game, the one with the purple logo. But yeah, so we got a load of swag, and t-shirts and stuff like that. But we actually got to see three kind of sequences from Assassin's Creed 3. First of which is the scene that was shown at
Frontier
E3.
section.
It was the frontier, yeah. So it's the one that was shown at E3. It was kind of like the mountainy bit, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
In the woods. There was deer and wolves.
Yeah, so we got to see a bit of kind of the climbing of trees and all that sort of stuff. It's all stuff that we've seen before, but we actually got to see the guy physically playing it in front of us,
He
which was
played it
pretty
a
cool.
lot like the guy in E3 played it, but I think he was trying to not. I think he was trying to keep it the rest of it under wraps. Like he said, there was several ways to do the level.
Hmm.
That's it. I mean, he went through the round the back and kind of climbed up a tree and went in really stealthily. But he actually said himself that you could just go in all guns blazing, and you could probably just go straight in the front with your horse if you really wanted to. But a bit more of a death trap, I guess.
So
Um, yes.
yeah, drop them some facts because I don't know much about this series, so I'm just notes. Basically that showcase that there's dynamic weather, so you get to go through summer and winter, and because of the snow, you get really heavy snow, so you're encouraged to climb through the trees and find different ways around the maps.
Which
Yep.
made me think that if the footprints in the snow are persistent, you could use them to track people
Mm.
or
Yeah.
be
Oh, animals.
tracked.
Because there were animals in the game. We saw
Yeah.
wolves, like same as the E3.
And
Uh,
as well, it showcased the new feature of being able to climb through trees and hide in bushes, which would be useful.
Yeah, apart from one small portion of that, the actual climbing a tree seemed really kind of fluid and natural, like jumping
Mm.
up between different branches, and it's stuff that hasn't really been in Assassin's Creed yet. It's all just been kind of very voxel-based, like all just basically square shapes for climbing around.
Yeah.
Whereas this was, there's different branches, different heights. It was a lot more.
The rock
It
bit
felt a
as
lot more
well.
natural. Yeah, there's the rock bit. Again, I mean, this is stuff that people have already seen. This will probably be in the footage that I'm showing in this video. I'm just basically putting this all to a load of trailers, maybe some bits. We did sneak some video, so I'll
It
chuck
does
that on
look
the.
really dodgy the way we've captured it. Like we weren't meant to, but he never said anything about not capturing it, and we never told off for it. So I guess
Mhm.
it's just
Probably
that.
because we were hiding the phones as well.
Well, for me, it was less hiding and more trying to get a good angle because we were right at the
Yeah,
front.
trying to keep it steady.
Yeah. So I had it like on my leg, tilted up, and it was.
Yeah,
It looks. It. The guy got some stuff.
but yeah. So we saw the. So what else? Was there anything else in your notes for the frontier? Either of you two? Because you took notes.
Yeah. Also within the woods you find villages in the woods which have kind of side quests. But also, um, you are hunting Templars. It's obviously set in the Civil War, but you're not really taking a side. It's kind of like your own personal vendetta thing going on.
It's following the obviously Caryan hasn't played the other games, but the other games are all about the assassins versus the Templars, and the Templars has always been a really strong theme throughout all of the Assassin's Creed games, and that's still persistent in this one, which is, as yeah you just said, that it's set during that time, but you're not kind of anything really. So it's not like you're going to play this game and change the course of history sort of thing. It's just about kind of maybe something that could have happened back then that no one really knows about because it's a bit secret.
And
Um,
sorry.
that was all I was going to say.
Finally, the character is Connor's, right? Is it Connor?
Connor, yeah,
Connor.
it's Connor.
We learned that he has a much more aggressive fighting style than the
Yeah,
previous characters.
he's really in there. Like he doesn't in the previous games, it was very much you kind of stand back and you just do counter attacks because it was just the easiest way to get rid of them. But now, both Connor doesn't stand back. You can really get in there and very fluid fighting style. But also the actual guards seem to just go for you like all at the same time. You end up taking two of them out with the same move and very cool.
He also the way he made the point about you shouldn't be going through the snow made me think that later on there might be stuff like sleds or something you might use to get across
Mm.
snow quickly.
Some other form of transportation. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean we saw running across rocks and climbing trees and stuff, but I guess yeah, that's stuff that we can just kind of maybe that's not official. That's just our idea. But yeah, so anything else for Frontier? Because there's three things we're going to cover.
Um, No, I think you've pretty much got all of that. What?
Okay.
Okay, so next up was it was Naval. Am I correct?
Yes. He basically led with saying that it's a new way to travel and explore and engage in combat in a completely new way.
Yeah, it was the first time I'd seen it.
Yeah, so
you had a full control of the ship.
Yeah, well, we hadn't actually dropped that yet, but yeah, boat wars.
Yeah, boat wars. It opened out with you get to walk around on the ship and stuff. Also, to note as well that Connor had a completely different outfit when he's the captain. He actually looks like a captain. Really cool kind of naval outfit.
I do love fashion.
But yeah, so you start out kind of just on the boat and stuff, but then you can actually go up and actually just take the wheel and you can drive the boat.
And you have command of a full crew who do the thing.
Which we were discussing at the bus stop. Was it looked like they were all doing stuff in relation to you, like thingy in the ship, but it could have just been generic animations.
Yeah, it's whether it was just like a static set animation that kind of loops, or whether it's, are you going to see the same guy fall exactly the same way every single time, or are they actually, depending on how you hit the waves, because the waves seem like a really big factor as you got further out in the sea.
Yeah, the weather changes, the waves build up, and it starts to rain, which affects your visibility as well.
Yeah, if it was really surprising to see, because Assassin's Creed's always trying different things, and you got first you had horses, and then they added you could actually ride actual what do you call them, carts sort of thing. You could ride those around, but this is just totally different style of gameplay. It felt very the only other game that I've played where you kind of sail around in boats was Sid Meier's Pirates, and it felt very much like that. You basically go into combat and you just keep turning around in a big circle against the other person and firing stuff at them.
Now hey, let's not forget Lego Pirates of the Caribbean here.
That is true, but you didn't get to use a ship in that one. But yeah, it looked really cool to me. I'm very excited.
3 different ways that they destroyed ships as well, which makes us think there's actually more to Naval than we saw. Because there was just the standard shooting it with a cannon, and then he could specifically target the weapons cache of one of them and blew that up, and then he destroyed the masts of the third one to get in close.
Yeah, you've got access to different cannonball types.
Said they've got 2 weapons. They've got the swivel cannons, which are on the bow and stern, and the pinpoint cannons, which are on the port and starboard. And yeah, as you were saying, you got to see was it chain shots?
Yeah, you get some chain shots.
Which is the cannonballs which are attached together. You also get a 360-degree view from the ship, so you get to see it all around as you're using it.
Yeah.
The uniform change as well suggested to me that there's going to be a lot of collectible stuff in terms of uniforms.
Yeah, I think they'll maybe
and maybe custom ones as well. I don't know.
Well, I know in previous Assassin's Creed games they had, but you could kind of go and dye all your clothes whatever color you wanted, but it was all still the same clothes, and you could level, and you eventually got Altier's outfit in Assassin's Creed 2 if you played all the way through the end and collected all the stuff and everything. But yeah, it'd be really, really cool if you can actually fully customize how you look and change the outfit quite a bit. But we'll have to wait and see for that. So that was Naval, right? So
yes.
Now on to dry land.
Yeah, which was the biggie.
Yeah, that was the one that hasn't been seen yet. It's been in sneak peeks and trailers and stuff like that, but not actually. We got to see gameplay of it, and that was what was the actual? Was it just called Boston?
Boston.
Yeah.
That was the Boston one. So what's your notes on that?
Different outfit again, I believe, from the first 2.
I believe it was. Yeah. So obviously a later point in the game.
Yes. Yes. Would you like bits about the buildings first, or the actual moving about and stuff?
Either or, really. We're going to cover it all.
Well, you get to move in the sort of ways that I've seen from watching people play the other games, when you're jumping off hanging things and everything and running around on roofs.
Yeah, it was very old school Assassin's Creed Boston.
Yeah.
But a new feature is that you can move through buildings as well, which is I take to be exciting.
Definitely, because usually you kind of stuck. All these buildings are all there, but you never really get to see inside of them. And this isn't necessarily, looking inside of them as much as you can move from A to B without a building getting in your way. You just go straight through the windows. Yeah, so that was definitely, as a big Assassin's Creed fan, that was definitely exciting. New ways to get about.
There's also new. Obviously, you can talk about this just because I've got my list. New ways of being stealthy. So instead of just having your piles of hay, they're in carts, which are moving around, so you get hiding them.
I forgot about that. That was very cool.
And from within them, you can assassinate people. Just pop out like a little daisy and kill someone.
As far as I'll assume that is it's basically the the hay bales that usually just at the sides or anywhere like that. But yeah, as Caryan said, they're actually moving around now. So I assume they'll probably be on more or less a set path.
Yeah,
ish, maybe.
That'll be good and bad in a sense. Good in the sense that you can move around and stay hidden. Bad in the sense that in the old games, if you had a familiar path for getting away from something, and it would end up you jumping in a hay bale, that hay bale might not be there next time.
That's true, but in terms of being an assassin, it adds a lot more to it. You can't always rely on where your exit strategy is. You've got to constantly adapt. And kind of, even if you were intending on running across a few rooftops and then hiding, if you see a hay bale on the way that's just moving past, you could quickly change path and go for that, which I think I think it'll add a little bit more replayability as well. You don't just get used to the exact same kind of run across this rooftop, jump in this hay bale. It's kind of change it up a little bit, which is very cool. Anything else?
It's remaining hidden. They've really improved that.
Oh yeah, definitely. They've made it now. So rather in the past, you had certain kind of I guess different types of places you could hide. You could hide maybe on a bench, or you could find a small crowd that was moving around. I think there were monks in the first game, and you could kind of blend in with them. But you had to stay in the center of them, or you could pay. I think in Assassin's Creed 2, you would pay prostitutes to kind of follow you around. But in this one, you can literally just walk through any crowd, and as long as you can, I'm assuming it's going to be a trigger-based command or something, but he kind of like pulls his hood down a little bit so the guards can't quite see his face, which is very cool.
There's also things that shows people's line of sight, so it looks like lines coming out. So I'm assuming when they cross you, it means that they can see you.
Yeah, there's like a small
so you
dot.
know when people can see you.
Yeah,
and you can hide when you're in plain sight. For the example we saw is that he just leaned with these two guys and pretended to talk to them.
Yeah, and on top of the leaning against it, when a guy walked past, he actually kind of almost, as much as it wasn't like full cover, he was kind of in cover, and then he grabbed a guard, fought him, and then he was leaning against a weapons rack, and he basically just pushed this guard's head into the weapons rack and like speared it, which was very cool, very much using the dynamic environment.
It shocked the guy who was playing it, which I think's good because they've put that many like different ways to kill people on that it's even shocking that people that had like
that made the game. Yeah. So that's it. So that's the thing. There's obviously from the off you can see there's a lot more animations. I remember obviously Assassin's Creed's made by the same guys who made the same team that made like Prince of Persia and all those games, and the original Prince of Persia as well was very cool because it was all that like at the time it seemed like there was like a million ways of different animations. You look back at it now and there's probably about 10, but it was more than any other game. This seems like they've just gone overboard with that. Like, you never really saw this. I mean, fair enough, unless he purposely did the same move twice, you never really saw the same move like again. And if he did, there was a little tweak to it. He seems to react
sensitive.
That's it. He reacts to the context and to the environment very well, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, one bit that I really liked was the bit when he runs up onto the boat. First of all, he picks up a pike, stabs a guy from behind, which ends up making that guy shoot another guy, and then he runs up and like hits this guy into the water, and it was all very fluid, but I'd imagine playing it would be easy.
Was it that the first guy shot the second guy? Was it not that he stuck his gun through the first guy and pulled the trigger?
I think it was a bayonet.
It was a bayonet. He stabbed the guy on the end of his bayonet and then pulled the trigger, and the bullet went through the first guy, hit the second guy, and then he shoved the third guy in the water, and that was awesome. Like, that's using one gun to kill two people. That's brilliant. Very, very. The game seems a lot more violent. I know that the games have always had a lot of violence in them and blood, and you're hitting people, but this seems a lot more because you can use the environment to help you, and you can.
I mean, the
kill people
of
in
this
loads of ways.
Is war, so
definitely it's a dark time. So just the fact that, but that was the other weapon, which I don't think we even mentioned in the first one. I think Caryan remembered the name of it. It's the one where you can string people up. That was used a few times.
It is a rope
dart. That's the one. The rope dart, very, very cool. He used it in the E3 trailer. It was used then to kind of string the guy up, just as a kind of a to grab their attention. Whereas in this, he actually hid in a tree. He had to save a guy out of some stocks. It was just like a side quest. Someone's husband had been taken to the stocks, and he had to save them. So he strung the first guy up, which grabbed the other guy's attention, and he just managed to walk around the side and just completely avoid all the rest of them.
As well, it's a case of this guy being shot with a thing with a rope, and then he's falling, like jumping down from the height and using himself as a counterweight, so this person's getting strung up.
And then pegging it into the ground when he hits the ground. Yeah, that was very, very cool. Yeah, so that was Boston. Didn't really do anything else.
You mentioned the prostitutes and the older games without bringing up the bit when,
of course,
you basically you get some friends who are in the enemy's uniform to kind of make it look like you're being escorted as a prisoner, and you use that to get past some guards, which is quite clever.
Yeah, the guy that was playing made a point of pointing out that in Brotherhood you could kind of call on your brothers, as it were, to actually come in and fight for you. But yeah, in this one you call them in to just basically keep you covered. That was very, very cool, just the way they walked straight through with him as a prisoner. To steal the boat, which and the climbing and stuff, when you saw him climbing up the boat, looked very good as well. Yeah,
like a little monkey.
Then that was the end of Boston, I think, at that point. So yeah, that was really cool. So my thoughts, first of all, are it looks awesome, and really looking forward to the game coming out on. It comes out. We were told it comes out on the 31st in the UK. America gets it on the 30th.
But still, anyone at Ubisoft wants to chuck us a couple of copies.
Yeah, if you want to forgive these two for recording it.
Well, we weren't told we weren't.
Free promotion.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
Sneak recording it. It was more. I had to put it on my lap for stability and to get, because it was we were very close to the front. In fact, we were at the front, and it was like the only way I could get more in the screen is if I held it up and back, and that nobody would have appreciated that.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy looked at me a few times, and I think he knew I was recording, and he didn't say anything.
Oh, it's free publicity, and they're showing it to a big group of the public. It's not like it was a full-on hidden press event. It was just you had to actually get yourself on the list. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. David, your thoughts as another Assassin's Creed player?
It looks like a very good game. It looks like they've took a lot of stuff from the old game that doesn't need fixing, included that, and then added more good stuff.
Yeah.
Rather than just changing everything for the sake of it.
Yeah, definitely. And Caryan's never played before, but do you think you'll be maybe trying Assassin's Creed if you get the time?
I can't really compare it to anything because I've just watched like others play it briefly, but I do like some of the features they've got, and it looks like it makes doing relatively easy things look really cool, if you know what I mean. Like the first, what looked like it was an early quest with the deer and the wolf and they're going into the fort and everything, it looked really cool with climbing the trees and everything.
Yeah.
And visually it looks like a really nice game.
Oh yeah, the graphics, they seem to really push the bar with this one. So very excited. This is the conclusion. This is supposedly the last Assassin's Creed game, at least for now. This ties up all the loose ends in the story from 1 and 2. I believe Brotherhood and is it Revelations was actually done by a separate part of the studio. So these guys have actually been working on 3 since Assassin's Creed 2. That's why it feels more like the old school Assassin's Creed, because it actually is them. Yeah, so this is going to be the 3rd game. We all sound like we're quite excited about it. And
definitely.
Yeah, so I think that's it from this video. Thanks for watching. I hope we've kind of filled you in with some details that we saw.
Hope we don't get sued.
Yeah, hope we don't get sued. Yeah, so catch you guys later.
Toodles.
Bye.